ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Dear friends, we are coming to the end of the commentary on the third mantra of sixth prashna in the Prashnopanishad. Prashnopanishad 6-3, sixth prashna, third mantra. We are reading the Bhashyam and we have almost come to the end of this Bhashyam. In this Bhashyam, the question was about the Bhoktrutva of the Purusha. Sa ikshata, how can Kartrutvam be possible? The first question was about the Kartrutvam, the doership for that, say, Purusha. That was a question raised by, the Sankhyas. And then the Vedantins, that is the non-dualist Vedanti, say Shankaracharya, he answered it by saying, by counter-questioning, that how can Bhoktrutva be possible? If Bhoktrutva, that is enjoyership, is possible, because according to Sankhyas, the Purusha, what they call the Purusha, what we call Supreme Atman, they call it the Purusha. So the Purusha does not have Kartrutva, it is just Chinmatra. Chinmatra, he has no Kartrutva, but he has Bhoktrutva. He is having that enjoyership, in the sense that the whole Prakriti is for his enjoyment. The whole Prakriti is like a dancing girl which is displaying its dance before the Purusha for his enjoyment. So that is what they say. So but then Shankaracharya says, how can that be possible? If Bhoktrutva is there, Bhoktrutva also is a Vikara. Vikara means a sort of modification within him. If you say that there is no Vikara in him, the last line we read was that if you say that there is absolutely no Vikara in that Purusha, still he has Bhoktrutva, which means that it is only apparent and not real. That is what we also say. Kartrutva and Bhoktrutva are just superimposed, which are attributed to that Purusha, not real. So that is what we also say. You have come to our point of view. So that is what was the last line we read. Bhogarupaschetanartha purushasya nasti sada nirvisheshatvat purushasya. These lines we read in the last class. Kasya apanayartham moksha shastram sadhanam praniyate. So then he was saying, he was asking, why is this moksha shastra? That is all the shastra which talks about liberation, etc. For whose sake? If that Purusha is totally, he has absolutely no Kartrutva, etc., absolutely no Bhoga is not there, Kartrutva is not there, then avidyadhyoropita anartha apanayaya shastramiti shet paramarthatah purusho bhoktaiva na karta. So Shankaracharya is dismissing their argument. If you say that he is only paramarthatah bhokta eva na karta, but Purusha, there is another thing called Pradhanam. Pradhanam kartreva na bhoktru. Pradhanam is kartru na bhoktru. So that is your point of view. How can you say that? You are saying, attributing this to Pradhana and not attributing this to the same thing if, say, the Purusha does it. You are not accepting that it is Bhoktrutva. It is only apparent Bhoktrutva. So that is where we ended. Paramartha sad vastvantaram purushacha. Apart from Purusha, you are also accepting a vastvantaram, that is another entity. Vastvantaram is another entity. You are also accepting another entity called Pradhanam. Iti kalpana agamabhya vyartha nirhetuka. This I explained in the last class in very great detail. This sort of explanation on your part, this sort of visualization, kalpana or imagination on your part is something which is agama bhakya, which is beyond the purview of the Vedas. Agama Bahya means it contradicts the Veda. It is beyond the Veda means it contradicts the Veda. Then Vyartha, purposeless, Nirhetuka, illogical. On all counts, it is something which cannot be accepted. So, iti na adartavya mumutshvihi. The seekers, the seekers who are really interested in knowing the truth, they should not bother about your arguments. So, that is what they said. So, up to this point we read.
Yes.
So, we have to read this next line. Ekatvepi. Let us read. Ekatvepi Shastra Pranayanaadhyanarthakyamiti chet na abhavat. So this the Sankhya is again counter questioning. The Sankhya gentleman is putting a counter question. Okay, you are saying this Atma is one alone. Apart from Atma, nothing is there. What all you see as Vishwam is nothing but Atma only. Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro. In fact, there is a huge commentary on that particular word only, Vishwam Vishnu. Saying that what all you see as Vishwam is nothing but Vishnu. So Isha Vasyam Etagam Sarvam. Same meaning there also. So here, Ekatvepi. If you say that Brahman alone is there and what all we see as the Jagat is nothing but a mere appearance in him, or in it, let us say, in it, then where is the need for Shastra? So he is putting a counter question. You say that according to us, okay, Shastra Pranayanam is waste. What about you? You are also saying that Ekatva. Ekatva means the oneness of Atma. Ekatvepi means Atmaikatva Pakshepi. That is, even when you accept that Atman alone exists, even then Shastra Pranayanam. Pranayanam means composition, compilation. Shastra Pranayanam, the compilation of Shastra, composition of Shastra or scripture, that is a waste, because there is nobody who is bound, there is nobody to be liberated, everything is Brahman only. Then where is the question of bandha and where is the question of moksha? If there is bondage only, there is a question of moksha. When there is no bondage, where is the question of moksha? Iti chet na abhavat. Because that Shastra itself won't be there at the time. At that level, when a person comes to the level of understanding the oneness, then there is no Shastra. When you are not in that stage, then there is Shastra. Shastra Anarthakyam we are accepting. But at what time? At a stage where you have realized that oneness, where you have realized that apart from Brahman there is nothing, then there is no need for Shastra. Shastra Anarthakyam. That is what we see in Gita also, where Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. So these Vedas, they are only talking about this Traigunyam Samsara. Nistraigunyo, go beyond the Vedas. That is, Shastra becomes Anarthakam. Another shloka also is there. Yavan arthavudapane sarvatas samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. For somebody who is vijanataha, for somebody who is a realized person, these things are of little value. These Vedas, etc. are of no value. So this is a very great statement which you cannot find in any religion. Any religion will say, this is our text is so sacred, you can't go beyond this text. Whereas we say, text is only a means to know, go to a particular level of realization. After realization, text, you have gone beyond the text. Text is of no value. Text is of value to somebody who is at a lower level. So that is what is our view. So, na abhavat, Shastra itself won't be there. You always recall that Gita line, where yavan artha udapane, you can write down there, because that becomes relevant. So then, when is the Shastra relevant? That also we are saying. Because when a person is in that state of realization of oneness, there is no Shastra. When that realization is not there, there is all the need for Shastra. So that is what is our contention. He is going to explain the same. Satsuhi Shastra Pranetradishu Tat Phalarthishu Cha Shastrasya Pranayanam Anarthakam Sarthakam Va iti Vikalpata Syat.
Shastrasya Pranayanam Anarthakam Sarthakam Cheti Vikalpana Syat.
Vikalpana Syat. This Vikalpana means one dilemma. Vikalpana, whether it has to be there, whether it should not be there, that's a Vikalpa. Vikalpa is an alternative. So this question about which alternative you have to follow. So this dilemma, that when does it come into picture? Only when there is somebody who is a writer of a scripture, And when somebody who needs that scripture in order to gain some fruit, tat phalarthi. Satsuhi Shastra Pranetradishu. It is only when there are people who are composing these Shastras and Tat Phalarthishu cha, and when there are the beneficiaries. There is a Shastra, there is a beneficiary. Suppose there is some Shastram which is talking about some karma, some yajna, etc., etc. You are a beneficiary. You are doing that karma, you are getting some phalam out of it. So it is only at that stage when there is a Shastra and when there is a beneficiary who is using it, then the question of whether Shastra is needed or not will arise, isn't it? The question of whether Shastra is needed or otherwise will arise. But now, at a higher level, when you are in a higher level where you have gone beyond that, that question does not arise. Shastrasya pranayanam anarthakam sarthakam va iti. Shastrasya pranayanam means the compilation, the composition of the Shastra, whether it is anarthakam. Anarthakam means purposeless. Na plus artha. Artha means purpose. Anarthakam means purposeless. Sarthakam means sa plus arthakam. Na plus arthakam is anarthakam. Sa plus arthakam is sarthakam. That is purposeful. Whether it is purposeless or purposeful will be relevant. Iti vikalpana syat. Syat means it would exist. That particular vikalpana, the dilemma would exist in such a case. But he is going to say, Nahi atmaikatve Shastra Pranetradayo Bhinnas Santi. Pranetradayo Bhinnas Santi. You can put a full stop. Or you can continue. Tadabhave Evam Vikalpanaiva Anupapanna. Okay, you can put a full stop after that Santi. Nahi atmaikatve. In this, that is, atmaikatva is, that is oneness of Atma. That is, in the case of a person who has that atmaikatva buddhi, in the case of a person who has realized that oneness, when in that case, Shastra Pranetradayah tato bhinnaha na santi. That na applies here. Na in the beginning, na applies here. Shastra Pranetradayah, that is the people who compose the Shastra, and also tato bhinnaha, people who are different from them, that is the beneficiaries, etc. Na santi, they don't exist at all. Tad abhave, when that is absent, when those things are absent, then evam vikalpana eva anupapanna. Evam vikalpana, this vikalpana, this dilemma or questioning in this way, evam means in this manner. In this manner, this deliberation on these alternatives, vikalpana, this deliberation on these alternatives is illogical. It is not meaningful. It is just meaningless. Then abhyupagate atmaikatve. Abhyupagate atmaikatve. Pramanarthasya abhyupagato bhavata. Yad atmaikatvam abhyupagacchata. So he is telling about the Sankhya. Sankhya is okay, you are saying about the Atma is one, and then Atma is Chinmatra, which is of the nature of pure consciousness, etc., etc. When you are accepting that, you are as good as accepting other things which are mentioned in the Shastra. Atmaikatve, abhyupagate atmaikatve means atmaikatve abhyupagate sati. Once you have accepted that oneness of this Atma, then you are also accepting the other thing also. Pramanarthasya abhyupagataha bhavata, by you, pramanarthasya abhyupagata. Pramana arthaha. Pramana means Shastra. Shastrasya prayojanam. Arthaha means prayojanam. Pramana artha you can write down because that word can mean different things. Pramanasya Shastrasya arthaha prayojanam. Pramanasya arthaha means Shastrasya prayojanam. So once you have accepted that atmaikatva, then you are also automatically accepting the Shastra prayojanam also. Shastra prayojanam also you are automatically accepting it. Shastra prayojanam cha abhyupagataha bhavata. By you it is accepted. By you who are what? Yad atmaikatvam abhyupagacchata. Because you are accepting that atmaikatvam. Then tadabhyupagame cha vikalpanupapattim aha shastram yatra tvasya sarvam atmaivabhut
यत्र त्वस्य सर्वमात्मैव भूत्
tat kenakam pashyet
तत् केनकं पश्येत्
ityadi.
इत्यादि.
So here he is quoting a line from Bruhadaranyaka. Actually another line also from Bruhadaranyaka. He says tad abhyupagamecha. Tad abhyupagama means tad means what? It is referring to the earlier line atmaikatvam. Atmaikatvasya abhyupagame sati. That is, once you have accepted that oneness of Atman, once you have accepted that oneness of Atman, then that vikalpa anupapattim aha shastram. This shastram, scripture, is talking about vikalpa anupapatti. The impropriety of talking about that vikalpa. The impropriety of talking about the alternatives. Impropriety of that dilemma in your mind. So the dilemma should not exist in your mind. So that is what Shastra says. What is it saying? Is it clear? Tat abhyupagamecha vikalpa anupapatti. Vikalpa does not arise at all. Anupapatti. Vikalpa does not arise at all. That the illogicality or impropriety of that alternative. Which alternative has to be chosen? It will not arise at all. And what is Shastra saying? Yatra tvasya sarvam atmaiva bhut. Yatra means at a time in which. Yasmin kale. Yatra does not mean where. Yatra normally means where. Here yatra means yasmin kale. At a time when. Yatra tu on the other hand. It refers to earlier some other discussion. Yatra tu asya means sadhakasya. For this sadhaka, for this seeker. Sarvam atmaiva bhut. When he has seen that oneness, sarvam atmaiva bhut. When he is able to see everything as Atma and nothing other than Atma. That is Isha Vasyamedagam Sarvam. He is at that level. So when he has gone to that level, tat kena kampasyet. Tat means tasmin kale. At that time. Yatra yasmin kale. Tat means tasmin kale. Tat kena kampasyet. By what? He will see what? Kena means by what? And kampasyet. What will he see? Because he is seeing himself as that Atman. He is seeing the other thing also as Atman. When he is able to see that Atman, presence of Atman, not only presence, he is knowing, he is realizing it as Atman, nothing beyond that, then his individual identity is lost. The basic problem with realization is, as our teachers, Vedanta teachers always say, people are afraid of Vedanta. Why? Because so long as you are in bhakti, you are very safe. In the sense that, okay, you are doing some puja and then you are there is a God, there is a duality, notion of, okay, let me switch it off. So there is a duality, there is something called phalam, there is some result which is expected. So all these things are there. And you are doing a sadhana. Okay, I am a great sadhaka, I am a great tapasvi, I am a great, what can we say, a great rishi. You can feel proud about it. But then, when you say that you are a realized person, you can't say that. When you say that you are a realized person, you are not a realized person, because that notion of I is very much there. That like that Kena Upanishad says. So that notion of I is there. So realization means you are losing your identity. What all social identity you have. You can't be a big Swami wearing so many, say, garlands of all these Rudrakshas and whatnot. You can't go about, say, establishing some empire and all that. You can't do all that. You have to be total sannyasi. So that is Atmaikatva. I don't mean that the Swamijis who are there in I don't mean to say that they are not realized people. They may be realized people, but still they may be doing it for Loka Sangraha. We have got that alternative also. A Swami, it does not mean that he has to relinquish all and then he has to live in the forest and lose his life like that. He is there for purpose of society also. Loka Sangraha is very much there. So anyway, so this fear of realization will be there in a human being, because he will be losing his identity. So here we are talking about such a stage. Kena kam pashyet, kena kam jigret. So that line continues like that. What will he see? By what? Because his antahkarana is no longer there. His antahkarana has merged. So that is it. Ityadi. Then Shastra Pranayanam will be relevant in another context. The Shastram is saying like that. Let us read the other line. Shastra Pranayana Dyupapattincha aha.
शास्त्रप्रणयनाद्युपपत्तिं च आह
यत्र परमार्थवस्तुस्वरूपाद् what is it? अन्यत्र परमार्थस्वरूपात्
अन्यत्र परमार्थवस्तुस्वरूपात्
वस्तुस्वरूपाद् अविद्याविषये
अविद्याविषये
यत्र हि द्वैतमिव भवति इत्यादि विस्तरतो वाजसनेयके
यत्र हि द्वैतमेव भवति इत्यादि विस्तरतो वाजसनेयके
वाजसनेयक is Brihadaranyaka there Shastra Pranayanadi Upapattim. Upapattim is the logicality, the propriety of it. The propriety or logicality of this Shastra Pranayanam. Shastra Pranayanam is composition of Shastra. Shastra Pranayanadi Upapattim cha. Aha means the text says. That is, the text talks about the propriety of the composition of Shastra, propriety of the existence, the raison d'etre as we call it, the reason for the existence. It is saying what? Anyatra Paramartha Vastu Swarupat. That is, Paramartha Vastu Swarupat Anyatra. That is, in a context where you are seeing apart from some Paramartha Vastu, you are seeing something else. Apart from Paramartha, you are seeing something else. Anyatra Paramartha Vastu Swarupat means Paramartha Swarupad Anyatra. You shift the words. Anyatra Avidya Vishaye means Avidya Dashayam. In that level of avidya, in that level of ignorance, in that level of nascence or ignorance, in that level, when Yatra hi Dvaitam iva bhavati, Yatra hi Dvaitam iva bhavati, that is when he is seeing that duality. Here also the text says Dvaitam iva bhavati. Yeah, Iva is there because text does not say Dvaitam Bhavati because Dvaitam does not exist according to Upanishads. Detrahi Dvaitam Iva Bhavati. That is as though he sees there is a duality. Because he sees the world with so much of diversity, with so many people, and then I am different, you are different, he is different, etc. With so much of Bheda Drushti. When a person is having such Bheda Drushti, then Shastra is very much relevant. When you are having Bheda Drushti, then naturally you are having some equation with him. You have your own notions of love, hate, etc., like, dislike, etc. So when all these things come into existence, then there is a need for some sort of norms, some norms for behavior. So for that Dharma Shastra comes into existence. Then again the Shastra relating to realization and whatnot, all these things, they come into existence. So at that level, Shastra is very, very relevant. So it is not as though you can throw away Shastra. For a person who has seen the oneness, the Shastra may not be needed. But for a person who is not seeing the oneness, who is still in the level of duality, Shastra is very much needed. So, yatra hi dvaitam iva bhavati ityadi vistarataha. Vistarataha means in great detail. In great detail, Vajasanayake, it has been explained. Then, atracha vibhakte vidya vidye parapare iti ada iti.
Vibhakte vidya vidye
parapare iti adaveva shastrasya. You got it? It will
starting from Ataha Natarika Vada Bhata Pravesha Vedanta Rajakrama Bahumte.
Is there one line missing? Maybe. Atracha, in this, atracha means in this text, vibhakte vidya vidye parapare iti. So there are two things which have been distinguished in this, where adaveva shastrasya, shastrasya adav eva. That is in the very beginning of this Upanishad. Now we are not talking about this Upanishad only, we are talking about Mundaka also. Because Mundaka Upanishad is this Samhita Upanishad of Atharva Veda, and this is the Brahmana Veda, Brahmana portion. That is an elaboration on the Mundaka Upanishad. So that is why there was a reference to Gata, Kala, Panchadasa, Pratishtha, etc. 15 Kalas they were referred to there. Here also we are having this Shodasha Kala, etc. There the same Shodasha Kalas, they were shown as 15 Kalas. By talking about 2 as 1, by merging 2 as 1, they counted 15 there. There again the same talk about this Purusha, etc. is there. So that is the original Upanishad on which this is a slight elaboration. So that is what he says, Shastrasya adaveva dve vidye veditavye paracha, aparacha, etc. We saw in that thing. What is that? Mundaka Upanishad. So, atracha vibhakte, vibhakte means these two are divided. Vibhakte is not saptami vibhakte. Vibhakte means vibhaktam, vibhakte. What? Vidya, avidye. Vidya, vidya are strilinga, so that way we should say vibhakta, vibhakta, vibhakte. Vidya, avidye. Vidya, avidya. These two becomes vidya, vidye. Para and apara. Para, pare. Para, pare. Iti adaveva. So this higher and lower knowledge, higher level and lower knowledge. Higher level is relating to Brahmajnana or self, knowledge of self. The lower level is relating to Rigveda, Yajurveda, all that thing is, that is apara vidya. So that is what we have seen. Then ataha na tarkika chata bhata pravesho.
न तार्किक वाद भट प्रवेशो.
Is it saying vada bhata? Tarkika chata bhata pravesho Vedanta raja pramana bahu gupte
वेदांत राज प्रमाण बाहुते
iha atmaikatva vishaye iti.
इह आत्मैकत्व विषये इति.
So he is giving a great metaphor. You see, this Vedanta raja pramana bahu gupte. Vedanta is like raja pramana. We have seen that line Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. What is that Raja Vidya? The king among Vidyas, isn't it? The king among Vidyas. So it is Raja Pramana means the king among Pramanas. The king among Pramanas, what is that? Vedanta, the Shastra, Veda, Upanishad. This is the king of Pramanas. This king of Pramanas is protecting something. So into this place, all these Tarkika Chatabhatas, Chatabhata is somewhat like a spy. Vadabhata also can be there. Here of course Chata. Chataschasau Vishwasa Ghatakascha. So something footnote is given here. Chata is somewhat like a spy. Somebody who is spying on you, just keeping a watch and then trying to do some mischief. So mischief maker, let us say. Chatabhata is a mischief maker. This Tarkika mischief maker cannot enter this realm, cannot enter this region, which is protected by the king of Pramanas. So that is what he says. Tarkika Vada, Tarkika Chatabhata Praveshaha Vedanta Raja Pramana Bahu Gupte. That is Bahu Gupta. Gupta means protected. Gupa means to protect, isn't it? Bahu Gupta means protected by his strong shoulders. Shoulders of what? Vedanta, this king of Pramanas. The king of Pramanas is in strong shoulders, it is supporting this thing. Here there is no question of a Tarkika Chatabhata, some mischief maker from Tarkika group. He can't come here. Here, Atmaikatva Vishaye, in this empire called Atmaikatva, in this empire called the oneness of Atma, this mischief makers called Tarkikas cannot enter. So that is the point. Then Yetena Avidya Kruta Nama Rupa Dyupadhikruta
अविद्याकृत नामरूपाद्युपाधिकृत
अनेक शक्ति साधन कृत भेदवत्वात्
अनेक शक्ति साधनकृत भेदवत्वात्
ब्रह्मणः सृष्ट्यादि कर्तृत्वे भेदवत्वात् ब्रह्मणः सृष्ट्यादि कर्तृत्वे साधनाद्यभावो दोषः प्रत्युक्तो वेदितव्यः परैः उक्तः आत्मानर्थकर्तृत्वादि दोषश्च. Okay, he says, with all this discussion, etena means by this means by all this discussion, we have discarded all this, we have refuted all the defects which have been the so-called defects pointed out by the Tarkikas. He says, what are those defects? Etena, by this, avidya kruta nama rupa dvipadhikruta aneka shakti sadhana kruta bhedavatvat brahmanaha. All this is one phrase. Brahmanaha, so much of bhedavatvat. Brahma is having so many things with him. What? Avidya kruta nama rupa. Brahma, in Brahma, there are so many things which are existing. Brahma is one, no doubt. But then, avidya kruta. Brahma is having that expressive power called Maya, that Maya or Avidya. And because of Avidya, this Nama, Rupa, Upadhi, etc., all these Upadhis have come into existence. All these Upadhis which we are going to see in the next mantra, the Shodashakala, the 16 aspects. So in these 16 aspects, all these things they have just manifested. So all these things are Avidya Kruta. It is not something which is natural to him. It is not the Lakshanam, Brahma's Lakshanam. It is something which is based on the Upadhi called Maya. Mayopadhika Chaitanya Ishvara, isn't it? So Mayopadhika Chaitanya is having so much of paraphernalia. So when so much of paraphernalia is there, Then Srushtyadi Kartrutve Sadhanadyabhavo Doshaha. So for Srushti there is no sadhanam. That sort of defect which was pointed out by Sankhya, it will not arise. Because there are so many sadhanas, avidya krita sadhana. This whole Srushti itself is in the avidya realm. If the Srushti if it is said to be real, then the problem will arise. When the Srushti itself is held to be unreal, then the problem will not arise. This is something which is mind-boggling for students of Vedanta when you say that Srushti itself is unreal. If we want to know more about, if you want to see more about this, we can go to Ramana Maharshi's things, Ramana Maharshi's talks, etc. Then it is also surprising to see that even the modern science, it is talking about whether the world is real or it is a fiction. Whether the world is really there or whether it is a fiction, whether it is just a phenomena, whether it is just a fake. So these are the words which the scientists are also using. Of course, their logic is slightly different. But somehow the same questions are also found in Vedanta. Scientists, they have come to this level of thinking at a very, very high, after high level of research and all that. So after a very high level of research into some fundamental physics and things like that, they are now questioning. And computer science and so many developments in science, they are putting these questions, whether the world is real or unreal. But it is something surprising that the same questions are raised in Vedanta also. So here you see, Srushtyadi Kartrutve Sadhanadyabhavo Doshaha. That is one defect which was pointed out by the Sankhya was that for this Brahma, there is no sadhana, because apart from him there is nothing. So that sort of dosha has been explained by saying that avidya is there, that because of that ignorance is what? Avidya is something which is inexplicable. Avidya does not mean something which is ignorance, total ignorance. Avidya is some inexplicable thing. That is, asti che, what is this? Sadasadbhyam anirvachaniyam. Whether it is asti or nasti, it cannot be decided. So that is what is our contention. Whether the world exists or not, it is something which cannot be decided. Asti, what is this? What did I say? Sadasadbhyam anirvachaniyam. Sat, asat. Sat, you can't say whether it is sat or whether it is asat. So, avidya kruta namarupad upadhi kruta. So, this upadhi kruta aneka shakti. There are so many sadhanas like that. So, with all that, Brahma is able to, with all unreal things, Brahman is able to create unreal world. In summary, that is what it means. With all these unreal sadhanas, an unreal world is coming into existence. Then, that dosha pratyuktaha veditavyaha. It should be known that dosha is pratyuktaha. Pratyuktaha means refuted. Uktaha means told. Pratyuktaha means answered. It has been answered, refuted. Veditavyaha. And also paraihi uktaha. Paraihi uktaha means that is another point which has been told by others. What is that? Atma anartha kartrutvadi doshasya. That is, Atma has created this world of misery. And then by creating this world of misery, it is an anarthakam. Anarthakam is purposeless. Atma, if it is totally chinmatra, where is the need for Atma to create this whole world? Suppose you say that Brahma is something pure consciousness. Where is the need for that Brahma to create this whole world? So that is why we are saying that this whole world is not something which is real, absolute in the absolute sense. Because otherwise we will be saying that Brahma is somebody like any avayavi. Like any human being, he is also a person. He is trying to make some dolls dance. Not like that. So that is what, that is how that dosha also has been refuted by us. So he says. Then another point he is saying, originally the Sankhya person was saying that this saikshata, that sikshan chakre, that Ikshanam or seeing or deliberating, that is something which is told in the case of Pradhanam and not in the case of Brahma. So that is what he said. So that thing also has been refuted. That is what he is going to say. Yastu drushtantaha Rajnyaha sarvarthakarini kartari Upacharad Raja Karteti Karteti So Saha Atra Anupapannaha So Sarvarthakarini Bhrutye. It is okay. So sarvarthakari bhrutyah kaschid vartate. That is somebody who is able to who is able to perform all the orders of the king. On behalf of the king, he is all accomplishing. So such person is there. When such a person is there, figuratively you are saying he is a Raja. So like that, you say that in the case of Pradhanam, Pradhana is Kartru and not Chaitanyam. So that is what Sankhya said. So here, yastu drushtantaha, that is as for that illustration, Rajnyaha sarvarthakarini kartari. Kartari bhrutye, that is what your book says. In that bhrutya means a servant, an employee, not exactly a servant, an employee. A deputy, let us say. Deputy. Upacharat, by in a figurative way. Raja karta iti. By in a figurative way you say, oh, he is the doer, he is the karta. So in that way, you can say like that. That also has been saha atra anupapannaha. That argument also is not relevant here because we have very clearly said that all this is in avidya dasha only. What all is manifesting is that in avidya dasha, this avidya sadhanam is there and avidya product is there. That is what we are saying. And Brahma is untouched by any of these things. Then sa ikshan chakre iti shrutehe mukhyartha badhanat prakasha pramana bhutayaha. Not prakasha, pramana bhutayaha. So this Shruti, if you don't say like that, if you don't say that this Ikshan Chakra refers to Brahman, if you don't say that it refers to Brahman, and if you say that it refers to Pradhanam, etc., you are contradicting the Shruti also. That is what he says. Sa Ikshan Chakra iti Shrutehe Mukhyartha Badhanat Pramana Bhutayaha. Here the Anvaya is Pramana Bhutayaha Shrutehe Mukhyartha Badhanat. Pramana Bhutayaha Shrutehe Mukhyartha Badhanat. That is, there is what is called Mukhyartha and Gaunartha. Mukhyartha means use of a word in the main sense. Gaunartha means use of a word in the figurative sense. Here the meaning is okay. In the main sense itself it is fitting. It is appropriate. In the main sense itself it is appropriate. When you are not able to take the main sense, then you can take the figurative sense. If you are able to take the main sense, then where is the need for a figurative sense? That is what he says. Sai Ikshan Chakra iti Pramana Bhutayaha Shrutehe Mukhyartha Badhanat. That is, what you say is affecting. Mukhyartham Badhayati. That is it. What you say is negating the Mukhyartha of the Shruti. Which is Shruti, which is Pramana Bhutam. Which is actually, that is the basic Pramana. Raja Pramana earlier we saw. Mukhyartha Badhanat means what you say, Mukhyartham Badhayati. That is Badhate, Badhate. Not Badhayati, Badhate. This Shruti's main meaning is okay. Main meaning is fitting here. There is no need to take a secondary meaning. Then Tatrahi Gauni Kalpana Shabdasya Yasya Yatra Mukhyartho na Sambhavati. So that is what he says. Yatra Mukhyartha na Sambhavati. That is where this Mukhyartha is not possible. Mukhyartha means the main meaning is not possible. Then Tatrahi, only in that case, Gauni Kalpana Shabdasya. Shabdasya means of this Shruti. Gauni Kalpana. Gauni means figurative. Guna. Guna is figurative. Gauni, figurative meaning. Figurative meaning can be taken only when literal meaning cannot be taken. Here literal meaning can be taken. So that is it. Ihatu Achetanasya Mukta Baddha Purusha Visheshapekshaya Kartru Karma Deshakala Nimittapekshaya cha Bandha Mokshadi Phalartha Niyata Purusham Prati Pravrittihi Purusham Prati Pravrittihi Nopapadyate. So here the basic line is Achetanasya Pravrittihi na upapadyate. That is the basic line. Achetanasya pradhanasya. For that pradhanam which is achetanam, which is insentient, Purusham prati pravrittihi na upapadyate. Activity. Pravritti means activity. Getting into action. That is pravritti. that pravrutti na upapadete. It is not logical. It is not logical to talk about pravrutti of this pradhanam which is insentient. So that is what it says. Ihatu means here on the other hand, what is happening? Achetanasya. You are talking about this pradhana which is achetanam. Achetanasya pradhanasya. Of that, then in relation to this mukta purusha and baddha purusha, there are different types of people. There are people, somebody who is liberated, somebody who is enlightened, somebody who is unenlightened. Mukta, baddha purusha visheshapekshaya. In relation to those who are enlightened and those who are unenlightened. Then kartru, karma, deshakala, nimitta apeshaya. In relation to various other factors like karta, that is doer, karma, some action, desha means a place, then kala, a particular time, then nimitta means a particular cause or occasion. Nimitta is a cause or occasion. So in relation to so many factors, in relation to a bound person and unbound person, so then bandha mokshadi phalartha, then for all these people, then what is expected here? Some order has to be there. Niyata phala, bandha mokshadi phalartha niyata pravrittihi. So purusham prati you take it out. Bandha mokshadi phalartha niyata pravrittihi. This niyata connects to pravritti. Niyata pravrittihi purusham prati. Purusham prati niyata pravrittihi. So purusham prati you take it out. The connection is bandha mokshadi phalartha niyata pravrittihi. Niyata pravrittihi means a very, very orderly behavior. Niyata means very, very fixed, orderly, very well regulated, orderly. So that sort of behavior. Pravritti means action, behavior or activity. So that sort of like a clockwork, functioning like a clockwork is not possible for an insentient thing. So that is what he says. And what is this niyata pravritti? Bandha mokshadi phalartha. So it has to give bandha, that is bondage, and it has to give liberation. Shastra is something which is going to give bondage and liberation also. So and who has to, for an insentient thing, it is not possible. Only a Chaitana Dharmi only can give you liberation or bondage or anything. So this sort of bandha mokshadi phalartha pravrittihi, this sort of such highly well regulated and then well defined activity, behavior is not possible for an insentient thing like pradhanam. So that is the point here. Iti pravrittihi na upapadyate. It is illogical to talk about that. Then yathokta sarvajñeswara kartrutva pakshetu
यथोक्त सर्वज्ञेश्वर कर्तृत्व पक्षेतु
upapanna means it becomes justifiable. What becomes justifiable? Pravrittihi, niyata pravrittihi becomes upapanna. Upapanna is in Srilingam, you see. Niyata pravrittihi upapanna bhavati. That sort of a highly regulated say activity will be logical in the case of a Chaitana Purusha. In the case of, what did he say? Sarvajña Ishvara Kartrutva. When you accept this, Ishvara is the Karta, Ishvara who is the Sarvajña is the Karta. Ishvara who is a Sarvajña is the Karta. When you accept, then that Niyata Pravrittihi, Purusham Prati Niyata Pravrittihi, that becomes okay. That's what it says. Then here of course the third shloka comes to an end. Third mantra. Then let's go to the fourth one. Then we'll read the mantra first. Sa pranam asrujata pranat shraddham kham shraddham kham vayurjyotirapah prithivindriyam manah annam annadviryam tapo mantraha karma lokaha lokeshu cha nama cha. So right from the beginning we were talking about the Shodasha Kala Purusha, isn't it? Purusha with 16 facets or parts. So what are those 16 facets? Now that surprise, what is that suspense is over. Now he is expecting. And also sa Ikshan Chakre. So he deliberated. What was he deliberating? Kasminnu pratishtite ham pratishthasyami. Kasminnu, what is it? कस्मिन् not प्रतिष्ठिते प्रतिष्ठास्यामि कस्मिन् उत्क्रान्ते उत्क्रान्तो भविष्यामि. Depending on whose departure shall I depart, and depending on whose presence shall I be present. So that is what was the earlier mantra, isn't it? So that, what is that first one? The first one is that prana. Prana means, ordinary meaning of prana is just life force, isn't it? Now we are talking about the life force which originated in the very, very beginning. That beginning again is beginningless. That beginning is again a wrong word. Because that beginning is beginningless. Because that goes on and on in several cycles. So in that, we can't even say beginning, that beginningless beginning, sa pranam asrujata, from that Chaitanya, pranam, or rather the energy, life force or energy, it appeared. So it is only when that life force is there that kasmin pratisthite ham pratisthashyami will question arise in any being. So this Chaitanya will be there only when that prana is there. Chaitanya will be present only when that prana is there. So here we are talking about the cosmic prana at the cosmic level, the energy at the cosmic level, what we call the cosmic subtle body, which is the aggregate of all the subtle bodies of all the beings in the universe. We are now talking about that Hiranyagarbha, otherwise called Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is also called prana, also called Sutratma. We are aware of that. We have seen in several Upanishads and Gita Bhashyam also. So, sa pranam asrujata, the first thing creation is that prana. Then pranat shraddham, from that prana, shraddha. Shraddha is normal meaning of shraddha. What is shraddha? Normal meaning is shraddha is faith, earnestness, devotion, etc., etc. Isn't it? So here it's slightly something more. This Hiranyagarbha itself, this Hiranyagarbha, which is the cosmic, subtle body, when the further creation has to take place, it has to do in such a way that there is what is called dharma and adharma. There is what is called order in the whole universe, isn't it? Order at various levels. The very fact that there is all the planets move in certain orbits only and they don't collide, that itself is an order. And in the human beings again, the body is constituted in this way. There is so much of order in the body. Not only human body, right from an ant, there is so much of order. Though there is a variety, there is so much of order. And all this sort of dharma, in the context of human behavior, there is what is called good and bad. So this good and bad, that mix is always there. Then sattva, rajas, tamo guna, all the thing is there. So this Brahma has to be a highly enlightened man, isn't it? He has to be a highly enlightened person. We can't even say man. It is such some highly enlightened entity. That Hiranyagarbha we should not visualize in anthropomorphic terms. So that Hiranyagarbha is such a wonderful entity. It has to be some intelligent being. And that intelligence is again something in the form of a spurana, in the form of some sort of memory, which our Upanishads say. For example, Shvetashvatara Upanishad, this line has been quoted by our famous Manidravida Shastri. Manidravida Shastri, while explaining this word Shraddha, he has quoted this particular line. Yo brahmanam vedadhati purvam yo vai vedascha prahinoti tasmai. Are you aware of this line? From this Shvetashvatara. Tam atma buddhi prakasham sharanamaham prapadye. Some such shloka is there in that. It is also read during as a Shanti mantra. Yo brahmanam vedadhati purvam. That is in the beginning, that beginningless beginning. Brahmanam vedadhati, who has created this Brahma. Brahma means not the supreme Brahma creating another Brahma, means this Hiranyagarbha, creating this life force or the cosmic being. And then yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai. And these Vedas, they are made to appear in his mind in the form of a spurana, in the form of a memory. It's not as though somebody is teaching and then it is happening. But this Brahma, Hiranyagarbha Brahma, all this intelligence is that it is just like a memory. It is just recalling him, all the Vedas. The 4 Vedas, they are recalled to him. So that is what it says. So that is what is Shraddha. That is dharma, dharmadi vivaksha. What is dharma and what is adharma at a human level, and at the cosmic level what is the order. So there is a cosmic order, and the human society there is a social order. All these things are covered by the word dharma, dharma. All these things are covered by the word Shraddha. Shraddha not necessarily, not the narrow meaning called faith or devotion. Narrow meaning is faith. You can't take that narrow meaning because of so many other Vedanta lines. Because when a particular word is used in a particular place, you can see how that thing is used in other places or other Vedic sentences also. So all that thing has to be taken here. All that meaning has to be taken to understand this. So pranat shraddham. Then after that, kham vayur jyotirapah prithvi indriyam manaha. Kham, you know, akasham. Akasham in kham dvitiya vibhakti. Then vayuhu, jyotihi, apaha, prithvi, indriyam, manaha. So all these things, they have come into existence. You see, that 5 pancha mahabhutaha. Kham, vayu is air, jyoti is fire, apaha is water, prithvi is earth, indriyam refers to all the 10 sense organs, 5 senses and 5 karmendriyas also. Then manaha, mind. Then annam, annad viryam. Annam means, you can also recall the what the Taittiriya Upanishad says. Akasha, Dvayuhu, Vayu, Ragni, Agni, Rapha, etc., etc. Oshadhibhyo, Annam, all the Oshadhis, all the plant kingdom became Annam. Then Annam, Annad Viryam, that Anna became Viryam, that became the basic vigor, the Viryam. Then not only that, austerity, Tapaha, austerity. Then Mantraha, Mantraha means that is the means for that austerity. The mantras, all these mantras are also, that is also the creation. That is also the creation of the same Brahma, Hiranyagarbha Brahma. Then karma, various rituals, etc. Then lokaha, when there is a ritual, there is a phalam also for that, and that phalam is lokaha. Then lokeshucha, namacha, in all that thing, names, forms, etc. That is it. So all these things, if you count, it will come to 16. So these are the 16 kalas. So that is the thing here. Let us read the Bhashyam. How much time is there?
We have another 8 minutes.
8 minutes, okay. Ishwareneva sarvadhikari pranaha purushena srujyate.
Ishwareneva sarvadhikari pranaha purushena srujyate.
Of course, that is Pathantaram there. My book says Ishwareneva. Your book says Ishwarenaiva. Ishwarena plus Iva is Ishwareneva. Iva means as though a king, as though somebody who is a boss who is creating the whole thing, as though. Ishwarena eva, by Ishwara only, there it means. But Anandagiri seems to have taken this particular patham, Ishwarena eva. You see, because Anandagiri writes, Evam parapaksham nirakrutya shrutihi shruti vyakhyanam kurvan sa pranam asrujata ityasya tatparyarthamaha Ishwareneva iti. Rajagneva, Ragneva ityarthaha. Ragneva, he says, Iva. Aksharartham prashnapurvakamaha kathamiti. So that is how he says. So both seem to be there. Both versions seem to be there. Ishwarena Iva, Ishwarena Iva. Pathantaram only. That is, as though Ishwara has created, Sarvadhikari pranaha, Ishwarena purushena, Sarvadhikari pranaha, Ishwarena Purushena Ishwarena Iva, as by this Purusha, as though he is the Ishwara, as though he is the controller of everything, this prana has been created. So that is what it means. Srujyate. Katham, how? Sa Purushaha Ukta Prakarena Yikshitva Pranam Hiranyagarbhakyam
Pranam Hiranyagarbhakyam
Sarva Prani Karanadharam.
Sarva Prani Karanadharam.
Sarva Prani Karanadharam. Antaratmanam Asrujata Srushtavan.
Antaratmanam Asrujata Srushtavan.
Okay, Sa Purushaha, that particular Purusha, Ukta Prakarena, in the above said manner, Ikshitva means having deliberated. Then Pranam Hiranyagarbhakyam. So Pranam Asrujata. What is that Pranam? Shankaracharya is explaining, coming to our rescue, saying that it is Hiranyagarbha. Then what is that Hiranyagarbha? Sarva Prani Karana Adharam. So Sahasra Shirusha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasraksha that is all the karanas, all the indriyas, all the organs of all beings are from him only. That is the source, Adhara. That is the source, that is the fountainhead from where all our indriyas, all the karanas have come into existence. So that is what it says. Sarva prani karana. Karana means indriya. Adharam. Adharam is the source. There is a footnote saying Tadatmyena Adharam ityartha. Tadatmyena Adharam means there is no difference from that what Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, when you say there is no difference between Purusha and this individual also, because this individual is also that Purusha only. So Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, my head is as good as Purusha's head. My Indriyas are as good as Purusha's Indriya. So it is like that. Tadatmya. Then Sarva Prani Karana Adharam. So that is the source for all the Indriyas, for all the Antahkaranas, all the senses of all beings. Then Antaratmanam, that is also the inner self. That is what is giving the notion of I. Antaratma, that is Aham Buddhi. It gives that Aham Buddhi, that notion of I. Then Antaratmanam Asrujata Sushtavan. Then Ataha Pranat Shraddham. Ataha Pranat Shraddham. Sarva Praninam Shubha Karma Pravrutti Hetu Bhutam. So he is explaining what is Shraddha. Pranat Shraddham. From that Prana, Shraddha has been created. What is that? Sarva Praninam, that is for all the beings. Shubha Karma Pravrutti Hetu Bhutam. That is the Hetu, that is the cause for motivating or for impelling a person into righteous action, into right action. Shubha Karma. Shubha Karma means right action. Shubha Karma Pravrutti, that is getting engaged in a right action. And that is this Shubha Karma, this Shraddha is the motivating factor. Shraddha is the thing which is the cause for all good activity, which motivates a person into good activity. Pravrutti. Pravrutti means activity. Pravrutti Hetu Bhuta means it is the cause for that activity. Activity cause for pushing a man on the right path. So that is what is Shraddha. So Sarva Praninam Shubha Karma Pravrutti Hetu Bhutam. In fact, we also recall that Gayatri Mantra, Yo Deva Savita Smakam. Gayatri Mantra in Shloka. Gayatri Mantra in the form of Shloka is mentioned, isn't it? Yo Deva Savita Smakam Dhiyo Dharmadi Gocharaha. Somewhat similar here. The Dhiyo Dharmadi Gocharaha. In the mind itself, there is what is called a program. The mind is so pre-programmed to know what is dharma, what is adharma, what is right and what is wrong. So this notion of right and wrong, it is there in the minds of all the pranis. In the sense that even a thief, when he wants to commit theft, he doesn't come openly and then he doesn't take away. He will try to wait for an opportune time and then he will try to enter. So anybody who is doing any bad act, he will try to see the occasion and then he will seize the occasion and then only tries, so that he is not caught. So he is having that fear of censure, fear of ignominy. So all that thing is there. So Shubha Karma Pravrutti Hetu Bhuta. So this Shraddha is the motivating factor, or it is the cause for impelling a man or putting a man on the right path. Then Tataha Karma Phalopabhoga Sadhanadhishtanani. Phalopabhoga Sadhanadhishtanani. Then Karana Bhutani Mahabhutani Asrujata. So what is happening here? Tataha. From that, Karma Phala Upabhoga Sadhana Adhishtanani. Karma Phala is the fruit of karma. Karma Phalasya Upabhogaha, that is enjoying the fruit of that karma. For enjoying the fruit of that karma, you need a sadhanam, isn't it? And what is that sadhanam? Shariram. Adhishtanam. Bhogayatanam Shariram. Tarka Sangraha says, Bhogayatanam Shariram. That is, Shariram is the Bhoga Ayatanam. This is the place where all enjoyment means not only enjoyment, suffering also. That is the Karma Phala. Karma Phalasya Bhogaha. Bhogasya Ayatanam. Ayatanam is the place. This is the Adhishtanam. Because you are having a Sharira, that Sharira is given to us in order to reap the fruit of some karma. So that is what it means. Karma phala upabhoga sadhana adhishthanani. Adhishthanani again plural. That is, all the bodies of all the beings are created depending on their karma. So here a question may come, where is this karma? Because God is first of all creating something. Then where is the question of karma? So this is again a question. We'll stop here and discuss in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.